Why, Kirk? Why would you make me do something that I'm not good at? And I'm going to tell you my wisdom behind this. Because if you do it, you will be smarter in what you want to learn. The beginning of everything happens right here. It just does. It's right there. And it's inside everybody's head. Success is a head game. Problems where we're stuck, it's in our head. Our confidence is based upon what's in our head. And when I say that, I mean our mind, in our mind. Our hope comes from what's in our mind. Our belief comes from what's in our mind. So it's like, wow, super important to pay attention to what's going on inside this mind. Now, for the longest time, we thought that education was the only thing we could do to the mind, would just fill it full of information. But another part of developing your mind is to teach it how to do things. I mean, really, you think about that, it's kind of interesting. It's like we already know that, that there's education, and there's also to teach the mind how to do things. So we're going to call that, no, I'll just type it out. Teach the mind how to do things. Now, why is that so important? Well, we can actually teach the mind how to do things that can help us be successful. It's like if we don't teach our mind what to do to be successful, then we can be unsuccessful. I know that sounds crazy, but we could read all the books in the world, education, education, education. But now over here, it's application. That's what's going on, is education and then application. And it's like, whoa, it's like, okay, how do you do it? Over here, we're teaching the mind what? We're teaching it the what? It's the information. But this is where people usually drop the ball, is they are not very high in the application part about like, well, how do you do this? And that's what I want for this mastermind, is that this is a place for you to practice the how. Yeah, you'll learn. Yeah, learning is great, and you can do it all day long, every day if you wanted to. Read books, watch videos, learn. But you're really not going to get that hand-eye coordination until you actually apply what it is that you're learning. And so, love the mind, right? Fill it full of information, but get it to do something. So you'll hear me talk to people in the mastermind, and you'll hear me say, hey, are you doing a webinar? Did you make a phone call? Did you visit with that person? Did you hold a coaching appointment? Did you do a training class? You got to do something. You got to do it. So we already all know that particular, statement of just do it. You got to do it. And when you do it, you practice. It's not a final exam. There's no final exam. You do it and you practice to get better. That's what you do. You practice. And you got to be careful, because there's a lot of criticism that goes on inside your mind about your skill level. All of us could use some upgrade on our skill level, right? You know that your skill level could be worked on, right? Mine too. So your skill level gets to get better. My skill level gets to get better. And how do we do that? We do it. We do the webinar, we do the phone call, we have the conversation, we hold the coaching appointment, we make the flyer, we make the video, we make the audio, we do it. If you ever want to find out where someone is, don't ask them what they know. Ask them what they're doing. I know people who know a lot, but they don't do a lot. I know it's crazy, but it's so important. Over here, I'm putting know it, and then there is do it. So which one's better? If we're gonna like try to compare here, which one's better, education or application? If you had to choose which one to go for, and like you were limited to this one choice, and you could know things, but you couldn't do them, or you could do things, but you couldn't know it. Okay, that didn't work. Forget that idea. Okay, but I look at these two. And it's like, yeah, super good to learn ahead of time. Like, hey, I can't do a webinar until I read every book on how to do a webinar. I know people like that. But I will tell you, people who just get after it and just do it, they learn so fast. So let's do this. What if you did the work and then you added some knowledge to it, right? What if you were learning, but you were also doing? I got to tell you, it's just like the best. But if you had to choose, no, if I got to choose for you of watch a video or try it, I would have you try it. Like this one right here, do it. Why, Kirk? Why would you make me do something that I'm not good at? And I'm going to tell you my wisdom behind this. Because if you do it, you will be smarter in what you want to learn. I know people who read lots of stuff, they do lots of classes, they do lots of stuff, but they don't even know what works and what doesn't work. They don't even know because they're not even practicing it. And I tell my personal mentoring clients, I'm like, you got to do this. Get after it. Do a class, do a coaching appointment, get some complimentary clients to work with. You got to do the work so it smartens you up. So when you learn, when you're doing your education, you pay attention because now you know what you want to learn. So to me, I think this one goes first. Do it, then education, then you start to know it, right? Like, but I would say application is like the big thing is just like practice. You're not going to get fired. As an entrepreneur, the only way you get fired is if you quit.